Well, hi, everyone. I have here Grace Chen with me, and Grace, she's been a client for over what, 6 months, 8 months,
Yeah, about 9 months.
about 9 months. Great. Now, before I hijack this conversation, I would like you please to introduce yourself, your title, your company, and who do you serve, your ideal client. And yeah, then we'll take it from there.
Okay, my name is Grace. Actually, I came from Asia, and I used to work in the corporate and in the finance department. And a couple of years ago, I transitioned in the financial service industry, and I'm a financial and tax strategy planning specialist. And at the beginning of the year, I actually get in touch with SLS consulting firm and try to have a consistent leads and qualified leads coming to my pipeline. Yeah, and this is something I have been looking around in the market for several months, and I consult with several agencies, but I couldn't find a solution I want. And when SLS introduced me their apps, the way they work, the way they structure, and that's something really in line with what I'm looking for. So I just give it a try for 3 months and work with them. And I had a pretty decent result just from the first campaign. So I decided to move on to the second phase, the quantum, which even bring me more qualified leads. Yeah. So that's the reason I continue extend my contract with them, moving to the third. Yeah.
Got it. Now, you said something very important, is that you joined first 3 months, got decent result, but then you extended, you got more qualified leads. Talk to me a bit, please, about those leads, right? So what was your problem in getting those leads to have a conversation with you first before joining the SLS framework? Why you couldn't get them?
Okay. Yeah, before the time is still whether it's before the pandemic or during the pandemic, right? Most of my leads probably coming from the my social network, the warm market, and those things probably will be probably what will we will run out of those warm market pretty soon, and that will be difficult to continue this this service. So the way SLS work is to help me to identify my niche and to get in touch with the leads. And this is the lead I think I will provide my professional service to them and can help them, and also to kind of like it's a win-win situation for both myself and also my clients. Yeah.
Of course. So you're reaching out first to the warm market, and you've mentioned that it's gonna at some point finish, but then going out and looking for new leads is going to be difficult. And then when you joined, we've helped you to niche, and then also, so niche, and you've talked about the apps before. So if you look at it in terms of when you started niching to the moment that you also started using those apps, what was the transformation that you've seen that happened to your business?
Because SLS use those automation process, which is something I don't really see very common in the current marketplace. So when I heard about it, it really kind of really intrigued me, because I don't want to spend that much time on the prospecting. I think my value actually is provide a consultation and finding a solution. But prospecting is very important in this industry. We need to get the people into the pipeline. Otherwise, how can we generate a revenue, provide a solution. So SLS really helped me to reduce my effort, my time in terms of bringing the prospect in front of me. All I need to do is just do the presentation, finding the solution, and close the deal.
Got it. So in this case, time, which also a very, like what you said, you're very conscious of how you want to use your time. Your time is more valuable spent helping the client rather than prospecting. So the SLS framework allowed you to use that time to help prospect, but then it generated these constant leads for you. And what you've explained, you get the lead, you do the presentation, more of like consultative service, consultative selling approach, and then you close. So how, like, what's the volume of the deals that you are able to close using the SLS framework? How many for you represent in terms of thousands? And also, because also leads, if you think about them, they're like a pipeline. So when they go through your sales process, they ultimately close. But what's the value of the opportunities in the pipeline? So my question is about the ones that you've closed so far, how much business you've closed, and in the pipeline, how much do you think you have of opportunities still going on through the SLS framework?
I see. So I think it depends on the services everyone provide. Yeah, for my services, I provide a financial investment, tax strategy planning, and the solution we suggest typically is a little bit, tend to have a little bit higher profit margin. So I don't need to get into so many cases, but still can bring in pretty decent commission if I get the market right. So that's the reason getting a niche right is very important. It's like you really double your effort with a very like a limited amount of time. So that's one thing on SLS that I really focus on, finding the right niche. So that's one of the reasons I like, I can target the people, the prospect I know I'm good at. Yeah. So those are the people who need my service because they really, really have that problem there. So I can solve the problem. And at the same time, they are able to do the funding. Yeah. So it's not like I talk to them, they feel like, oh yeah, there's something we need, but we cannot afford it. So I know those people, they have the problem, I solve the problem, and they are able to pay, they are able to do the funding. So that make every process make sense. Nobody will waste the time in the entire process. Yeah. So in terms of the volume, I don't really generate that many volume. Maybe just in the last 6 months, I would say maybe 1 client per month, but each client can generate pretty decent commission. Yeah.
I see. Would you call decent commission for you as a ballpark figure? You're talking about tens of thousands?
Yeah, five digits. Yeah, about each client. Yeah.
I see. And that's why with the SLS framework, you're able to focus more on getting this really high quality client who each deal means 5 digits for you, rather than going and talking to so many. But then you will see that these guys, like you said, can't afford. And second, obviously, it's going to be a waste of your time.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really interesting. So if someone, for example, asks you, right, and turns around and say, well, I've seen you working with the SLS framework and I'm looking for clients who are, I wouldn't say difficult to find, but they're very specific. I work with a specific type of professionals. I work with a specific type of business owners. What would you say to them about the SLS framework?
I think
they have like the niche problem solved, but what do you think that the SLS framework can do? Let's put it this way.
So I think if someone come in, of course, that person probably need to target a niche, right? Just like that's the SLS, like the framework's philosophy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they can really focus on that solution, definitely. And that solution definitely need to be your prospects pinpoint. They need to feel the pain. Otherwise, if they don't feel the pain, no matter how good our solution is, it's like irrelevant to them. So we need to identify that if you want to focus on this niche, what's their pain? What keep them up at nighttime? We really need to really spend time to analyze it. So and figure out if that the pain is something you can provide a solution for them, and they feel like, this is something I really need, and then they will say, Nate, oh Grace, and thank you. I how to move on to the next step. So that's something we need to figure out. And once you say that this niche, and then you can keep going to those type of similar prospects. And then just like my situation, I right now just focus on the similar people, and they all have the similar problem, and I know how to tackle the problem. So the experience just add on and just get easier and easier.
Got it. See, this is important. So like you hear sometimes a lot of advisors say, well, I have my niche, I'm pretty set, but it's not about you have your niche. What you said is talking about the pain point that's going to help that person in this niche to see that, hey, you're the only person who can solve it. And then what you said is like, then they keep coming and they keep coming. And that's interesting, because we hear sometimes people think it's just like about having a niche, but it's not just having a niche. Right. And the other point you've talked about is like, because your clients are at a specific, we can call economic qualifications, or we can call a level of I wouldn't call it sophistication, but you consider yourself, you work with high net worth individuals.
That's the people I'm focusing on, because they have the problem, I know, and I have a solution for them. And the thing is, they don't know where to go to find a solution, or they know where to go, but they don't know whether they can trust those people or trust that solution. But I think I can bring up the solution and then get closer to them, and then they feel comfortable to go with me.
So if someone is hesitant to join the SLS framework, based on what you've shared, in like maybe a few sentences, what can you say to them on what is it exactly that they will get from the SLS framework that they cannot get elsewhere?
I think SLS has a very unique approach so far to use the social media, but utilize more like right now people say AI, right? So utilize those really automated process, because I'm all about automation. So I come from a background with automated process as much as possible. If I can do it with the machine, with the computer, I don't need to waste the human's time. So when I noticed that's something I think is really important. So if someone want to get more leads, and definitely it's a trend for sure to use the automation instead of the other way. I don't know, some other way. There are some other way in the market, but automation, I think right now it's the future, and that will get you more penetrated to think about how many people they are on the social media. Those are the people you are able to outreach And without the technology, I don't think that with a human effort, you can reach that many people.
Got it. So it's very important. It's the automation that's going to help to reach many people. But then wouldn't you say also strategy would help in this case?
Definitely. Yeah. So strategy is just finding the niche and also finding what your prospect is problem and providing the solution. Yeah.
Got it. Well, I mean, I'm so pumped up hearing what you're mentioning about the solution and the automation, and we have still a lot of things to accomplish working together. I'm excited to see what would be the next chapter for you, because now you've got all these automation running for you, you know, and like for someone like you, I look like the sky is the limit. So you're from the West Coast in the US, you start prospecting there, but then I imagine you still in your mind think that, hey, the entire US could be my market one day. You know?
Yeah.
Which is very exciting. I thank you for giving us those minutes where you shared your words of wisdom and experience, and Grace, definitely looking forward to hearing more and more of your success. And yeah, just let's crush it. Thank you, and let's keep doing it.
My pleasure, Nate. Yeah, great to work with you.